My guest today is an agent that is brand new licensee into real estate. She's been in the business for about 30 days. And we're going to tell you guys the story on how she was able to get $1 million for sale by owner listing with inside of her first month inside of real estate. So Marlene, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on with me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm excited. Yeah, me too. Me too. So before we jump into the interview, tell everybody, again, a little bit about yourself, the market that you're in, because you're lucky enough to sell real estate in Hawaii. So yeah. When did you get your license and what is the market like there in Hawaii?
Okay, well, I got my license about 4 weeks ago, so 30 days ago. The market in Hawaii is really hot. We're in a seller's market, I think, all over the nation right now. Our average days on market are about 7 days. Average home sales price is $850,000. So yeah. So the listing that I got, which is $1 million, is over the average sales price. So I'm
very cool. So what led you to want to get into this crazy business in the first place?
Well, I actually just graduated with my economics degree, and I was looking out for jobs and things just didn't work out with COVID. The jobs I was looking for wasn't there anymore. So my husband's actually a realtor and he's been in the business for 5 years. And he was like, hey, why don't you just get your license? Just get your license already. And I said, okay. I mean, it looks easy from the outside. And yeah, so I got my license. So me and my husband are realtors.
I love it. So that's so interesting you say that, because you're exactly right. I think outside looking into the business, we were just talking off air, people that want to become a real estate agent, they see all these shows on TV. They think it's, this sexy business where it's real easy. You make a lot of money. Is that what you thought before you got your license? Walk people through kind of what your mindset was, what you thought you were getting into.
Even though my husband was a realtor and I did see him working, I really think I didn't see behind the scenes of what he was actually doing. So I did kind of had that stigma where, oh, it's going to be easy. I'm going to work on my schedule. I have children, I can work around it. However, it's the total opposite. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. It seems that they're working around my work schedule right now because I'm building. And also, I didn't realize the weight of the responsibility. That's what gets me every time, being responsible. Someone's putting their assets into my hands.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me more anxious,
It's like nerve-wracking. The people giving you this $1 million house and say, Marlene, we trust in you enough to sell this property. It's very nerve-wracking. What was the outside of that? What would you say was the biggest eye-opening, like big learning about the real estate business that you didn't think about before you got your license?
The biggest thing that I learned.
Yeah. Like, what did you think the real estate business was? And now that you're in it every day, what was like a big disconnect that you think people are missing before they decide to be a real estate agent?
Well, for me personally, I'm just going off of my head, but it's actually a huge liability to be an agent.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure that you're reviewing your contracts accurately. And it's actually a lot of paperwork. I was telling my husband, I feel like a lawyer more than anything else, because it's a lot of paperwork.
A lot of compliance, a lot of paperwork. You got to, really pay attention to the details. I think for a lot of people, Marlene, as long as I've been doing this, I want to get your opinion on this, and then we'll start talking about, how you went out there and secured this $1 million listing. A lot of people think they get their license and automatically people are going to start reaching out magically. Come list my property. Come work with me. What is it really when you get your license? Did your phone start blowing up with your friends and family members saying, Marlene, come sell us a house? No,
not at all. I actually have a tracking sheet. So I have goals that I have to meet every day to meet my calls. And yeah, I'm the one calling. And sometimes people aren't answering. Even people in my sphere of influence are not calling me back. I don't know, maybe they think I'm trying to sell them something, but I just try to just make the connection and make it casual and just let them know, hey, if you need something, I'm here. So, awesome. But yeah, no calls my way.
No one's calling you. Would you agree that real estate is absolutely a direct outbound sales business.
110%. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
And if you're not making those calls, you're not making business.
Yeah. And so what would you say to all the real estate agents out there that, would tell you, well, Marlene, I don't know. I don't want to reach out to people. What advice would you give them? Do you think they have a chance to make it in this business, or is it just a matter of time?
No, never. Especially in this market. It's so competitive. You need to be a strong agent.
Love it. I love it. All right. So you've been, how long? You got licensed 30 days ago. How long have you been inside my program?
I think only 3 weeks or so.
So how did you learn about what it is that I do, and what made you want to join kind of this program and do exactly what we believe, which is called reverse selling? But how did you find out about what I do?
I found you on YouTube, and I actually watched some of your student interviews, new agents and such. And I just liked how you spoke, and it was no pressure selling. And I really liked that approach. And I seen that you were doing something different with the for sale by owners. You were marketing different. You're following up different. And that's the key. What I learned, that's why I got this listing, is the follow-up.
That's right. And we're going to talk all about that in just a second. So that makes a ton of sense. Now, another thing that I hear all the time, Marlene, is from brand new agents. I can't call, I can't prospect. I'm brand new. Not only are you brand new, but you're not calling, you're calling one of the most competitive lead sources for sale by owners. You're a brand new licensees, and within 30 days, you secured $1 million listing. So let's start off by sharing with people that are going to watch this in the future. What do you do? What's your approach? What's your mindset when you're calling for sale by owners to start with?
My mindset is just try to get the appointment.
That's right.
That's as soon as I call them, I just want to get face to face, because first week in your training, Brandon, I met with 3 for sale by owners, and then one of them ended up listing with me, calling me next week.
It's phenomenal.
So nothing is as it seems, as you always say. And on the phone, they seem kind of mean and a little bit rude, but when you meet them in person, they're so nice. Yeah. It's so different. Yeah.
So that's the key thing, right? So when I found that out, that was like earth shattering for me. That's why I decided to train agents all over the world, because everything else on YouTube is telling us not to do that. Everything else on YouTube saying, no, you need to call, you need to qualify, you need to try to use all these high pressure sales tactics before you go and meet with them. But you've experienced the exact opposite. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree totally.
Like when you go to the appointment, when you focus that first phone call, that first conversation on just getting face to face, you go there and it's a completely different experience than you were having on the phone. Is that right?
Right. They're so much more open and willing to talk to you, especially when you bring out your presentation and, you have a smile on your face and you're just there, just talking story, willing to help them. Yeah.
I love it. That's great. Now, what is, like, when you get to that appointment, what are you focusing on there? What is kind of your strategy when you get that face-to-face appointment?
My strategy is to, build rapport with the for sale by owner, and share with them my marketing material that you provide in the course. That's my goal. And, that's the main thing, building rapport and sharing with the marketing material.
You're not pressuring them to list their house. Is it your mindset that you're going to go on this face-to-face appointment, you're going to become a resource, you're going to build that relationship so that if the for sale by owner has trouble selling it on their own, which many of them do, that you become a potential obvious choice for them to work with? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, right. And you have to be genuine. I mean, they'll notice it. You have to genuinely want to help them, because they're in a huge liability situation when you think about it. If they're found negligent, 3 times, they can be sued up to 3 times the purchase price, which I don't tell them up front.
Right.
once we get to the listing table, I kind of go over that.
Absolutely. But no, you're exactly right. They know if you're just trying to sell them, but if you can be authentic,
Right.
another thing I always say is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And people can sense it. If you're real, they know it. If you're fake and you're just trying to sell them, they know it. And
Right.
so you said something off air too that is so true, which is if you're going to go and list properties, it's all about follow-up. So let's talk about kind of a high level, how important follow-up has been for you.
Yeah. So in your program, I've learned, your program gives exactly how to follow up, the emails, what to say, what to do. So I've just been following it. And, with the for sale by owner that I just listed, I followed up with him only twice. And he already sent me an email saying, I want to sit down with you. And to me, that's saying, okay, he wants to list with me.
Absolutely.
Why else would he want to sit down with me?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So good for you. So you're following up, you're calling them, you're emailing them, you're texting them, you're potentially sending them some direct mail. Now, when they reach out to you and you're following up with them, what is that listing appointment like when you get there? Is it a lot? And I don't know how many listing appointments you've been on so far, but I would imagine one, and you got the listing, right? So,
Yeah.
So through this entire strategy, what you and I are talking about today, you were in rapport, you had this relationship. So when they got there, he had this level of trust with you. Would you agree?
Right. I agree 100%.
And so the seller felt very confident and comfortable with you. Was it hard for you to get the listing, or was it a nice conversation where you were able to set good expectations and then it was just a natural fit for you guys to work together? What was that like?
It wasn't hard at all. It was very natural. And, before I went out to the listing, my broker actually told me, hey, Marlene, think of 3 reasons why I wouldn't list with you. And make sure you're able to handle that when you get there. And, he did have some objections, someone said they were going to put an offer. A friend said they were going to put an offer, and, I just rebutted it every time.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. So what advice would you give to brand new real estate agents, Marlene, just like you were 30 days ago, that are so scared to prospect, but they know they need to? They know they need to pick this thing up, and they know that they need to call expireds and for sale by owners in their sphere of influence, but they just can't seem to pick up the phone. What advice would you give them?
Just do it. And, it's 110% worth it.
Yeah.
Because I had those in my head, like, oh, I look young. I'm only 24 years old. They're not gonna listen to me, and you just got to just do it. You got to just quiet all that noise in your head and just do it, because the outcome is so much, it's worth it.
So worth it, right? The learning, so there's another thing I say all the time, the learning is in the doing, right? You cannot, you can sit here and have conversation after conversation and watch all my trainings and do all these things, but until you pick up that phone, you will not get better. Would you agree with that?
I agree. And also, funny you say that. I was still going through the process of your training, but I was still calling.
Right.
I was kind of calling and then going, okay, now I have to send the email. I was just going through it as it went by, because I know I wanted to make a sale as soon as possible. So.
That's so good. And that's exactly what I advise every single student to do. But sometimes that fear gets a hold of people and they want to go through the whole course before they make their first phone call, and you're following it step by step. So now, now that you've learned this new process, what does your typical morning look like? Can you walk them through your prospecting schedule and kind of that morning routine?
Okay. Yeah, great. So in the morning, I drop off my kids, I make breakfast, I do all my mom duties, I work out every day. I check anything I have with my any transactions I have to do, I check on it. And then I start prospecting. And actually in my market, there's really not a lot of for sale by owners.
Right.
So every day I would say I get 4.
Okay.
Ones. But just doing the strategies that I've been doing in your training, it's different. No one's doing it. Like I went to that for sale by owner that I got the listing. There was 20 cards there on his kitchen counter.
Wow.
And so, you know, I don't know if they were trying to list with him but they're not doing what we're doing. It's so different.
Yeah. Good for you. I mean, that's just, I got to give you a lot of credit, Marlene, because again, that's why I wanted to do an interview with you so fast in your career. Again, you're not only just new to our training program, you've been licensed for 30 days. And that's why you should be so proud, because you're going to inspire so many brand new real estate agents that watch this video, because they want to do what you're doing, and you're doing it. You're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk, and you're proving to yourself and everybody around you that you can do this. And so now that you've kind of learning this new strategy, sounds like you've got a very strong mindset. What is your goal going into 2021? What do you think is possible for yourself?
My goal is to do 10 transactions. You know, I'm in Hawaii. The average medium sales price for homes is $850. So I'd be pretty good with 10 transactions. So that's my goal. And I actually have 3 pending right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What does your husband think of this? I mean, he said, babe, why don't you become a real estate agent? And now here, 30 days in the game, you get $1 million listing, you got 3 pending. What is he saying about all this?
He's so proud of me. He's telling me that he's going to be a stay-at-home dad now.
That's so cool. I'm proud of you too, Marlene. I really am. And man, oh man, I think you got a really bright future ahead of you. I think that $8 million next year in sales volume, you can absolutely do that. I think you're going to blow past that. I mean, what I'd like to do is when we get to next December is have you back on and show people what you've been able to do for a full year, because look at how much you've done in 30 days. Somebody with your attitude, with your mindset, with your skills, I could just sense it, how driven you are, how motivated you are. I mean, obviously you want to provide a great life for your family. I can't wait to do this again in 1 year. You open to that?
I'm really excited. And that'll make me hit my mark, because I know that I'm going to be coming on here in a year.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, listen, thank you so much. I think you've got a really powerful story. I think a lot of people watch this and be inspired. If they do have questions for you, or they want to just, bounce stuff off of you, where's the best place to find you? You have a website or something you want to direct people to?
Yeah, I have a website, and I have my brokerage website, but there's, Facebook, Instagram, you can leave my full name, and people can contact me through there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm always looking to help other people.
That's huge. Another great, strong mindset of a leader. So if you guys want to bounce things off and find out what Marlene's doing in Hawaii, just find her on Instagram. And like she said, she'd be happy to help. So Marlene, thank you so much for jumping on with me. Have a great holiday season. And I can't wait to do this again with you in a year from now. And I'll see you, I'm sure, very, very soon. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you, Brandon.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.